Hey, what's up everyone? You good? This is Hyunmin Jung from HMJ Photography. Every week I post videos about cameras and photography in 3 different languages: English, Japanese, and Korean. So, if you happen to stumble across my videos where I'm talking in some other languages like this one, どうもこんにちは HMJ Photography のチョンヒョンミンです. Or like this one, 안녕하세요. HMJ Photography의 전현민입니다. There definitely is an English version of the same video, so please just don't go away. So, last week I made a video showing the photos that I took in New York. And yeah, I came back from New York about a week ago and I have a lot to talk about. Before I dive deeper into this and before I get too emotional, let me talk about some camera gears that I brought to New York. I actually brought 4 cameras this time, and those were Leica M10, Leica M6, Ricoh GR3, and Ricoh GR3X. And I also brought 3 lenses, which were Voigtlander Nocton 35mm f1.4, Leica Zoomicron 50mm, and Lomography Atoll Ultrawide 17mm art lens. For my Leica M6, I brought 2 different types of films, and those were Fujifilm Superior Extra 400, which is a color film, and Kodak 400TX, also known as Tri-X, which is a black and white film. The reason I use Fujifilm Superior Extra 400 is because I got it for a very cheap price, and with Tri-X, I really like this film because it has a very strong contrast, and I think that contrast is perfect for New York. To be honest, I didn't shoot any photos with this Ricoh GR3X, and the reason is that it's a 40mm lens, so it's like somewhere right in between this 35mm and this 50mm. So like, it really didn't serve much purpose there. On the other hand, this 28mm lens was very useful in New York. And of course, this ultra-wide 17mm, it did wonders in New York. So, when I was in New York, for the most of the times, I looked like this. Leica M10 hanging on my neck, Leica M6 hanging on my shoulder, and Ricoh GR3 just getting prepared inside my pocket. So, if I wanted to shoot something on digital, I would take out my M10 and go pew pew pew. And then if I wanted something on film, I would just go like this and take a photo, and if I wanted a quick snap, I would take out my Ricoh GR3 from my pocket and snap, snap, snap. Although I had 2 cameras hanging on me like this, because Leica cameras and lenses are so compact, it didn't feel uncomfortable at all. And that was huge. Of course, not size-wise. And of course, with this Ricoh GR3, it's so small, it's almost non-existent. With my Leica M6, I really wanted to take this camera to New York this time because, I mean, I don't know about you, but to me, when I shoot pictures on a film, it feels a little bit more special. And lastly, about the gears, it was super convenient that this digital body and the film body uses same lens mount, so you could use same lenses. Okay, now let me talk about the trip itself now. So some of you may already know this, but I used to live in New York up until the Christmas of 2019. And I left New York because I had to change my visa. And I was gonna come back to New York as soon as I get my visa. And I was thinking maybe 3 months. But I'm sure that some of you already know where I'm going at because, yeah, Corona happened. Back then when I left New York, it was the Christmas of 2019, so nobody, or at least I didn't know anything about Corona or the pandemic. And yeah, my visa interview got canceled, and 3 months became 3 years. And finally, I was able to go back to New York. Sadly, not to live there again. It was to take care of some stuff there. But yeah, I'm a photographer, so I took photos while I was in New York, and I tried to make the most out of this visit to New York. It's been 3 years since I left New York, but like some part of me, like, it still feels like New York is my home. So when I went back to New York this time, yes, I really felt like, yeah, it's New York, it's my home. And then rats greeted me and the smell of New York greeted me. We didn't have a lot of time, but I tried to visit a lot of places that I used to love when I was in New York. And then I realized how the aftermath of the pandemic was very real. Like, so many places that I used to love going just closed and it wasn't there anymore. Like, in a way, New York didn't change much, but in a way, it changed so much. There was one place that I really had to go in this trip, and that place was Myrtle Broadway Station, subway station in Bushwick, Brooklyn, where I took this photo back in, I think, 2018 or 19. This photo has been very special to me because it's a photo of a station that I use almost every day because it was the closest to my apartment. And my life was there. So this time I wanted to go back there and just take more photos there, especially with my film camera. In New York, whenever I held my camera, there was something to photograph. So, as a street photographer, it was like a paradise. As I said, New York is very smelly, and New York is filthy. Well, at least compared to Japan, where I'm living at right now. But it's very raw and it's so diverse that it really tickles your creativity and it gives you so much inspirations.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way.
So, if you haven't realized by now, I love New York and I'm very biased. I really think New York is the best city in the world. So, if you haven't visited New York yet, I hope you'll visit New York soon. And even if you've already visited New York, I hope you'll visit again. Thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, and share. Until next time.